guys, and welcome back to NoBlandMakeup, where we do makeup and body paint tutorials, usually with a cosplay twist, and today is one of those body paint kind of videos. It's also daylight savings just happened, so it's still 6 o'clock in the morning in my head. So, yeah. If you're wondering what inspired this, I said in December I was going to do a month of Dragon Ball themed videos. Clearly that did not happen. I work in retail, December is the busiest time of year, and I did not prepare enough, so here we are. So I'm going to try to make this a regular thing on Sundays, but yeah. So if you're wondering where my eyebrows went, no, I did not shave them. I blocked them out. If you guys want a tutorial on that, I have a video that I'm going to link in the cards and the description on how to do that. The only difference between that video and what I did today was that I used Prozade instead of glue stick. I kind of like the effect of the Prozade a little bit better, but when I made that video I didn't actually have Prozade, so maybe I'll do like an updated kind of video at some point. But I went ahead and applied a little bit of concealer to highlight some of the points on my faces. Wow. My face that I wanted to emphasize a little bit more and set it with a powder. I could have skipped this step entirely and waited until later because I forgot that I'm going to be putting eyes on top of my eyes. So yeah. Same thing with the bronzer actually. This side in particular, there was literally no need to use bronzer because I wound up putting the Scout device on that side. Like, bam. If you want to contour your face, be my guest. Luckily for me, this character, Bulma, and I have similar-ish face shapes, so I didn't have to do too much extreme contouring. Now with some black body paint, I went in and started drawing all the features, like the eyebrows, first because I look so weird without eyebrows. Even if they're like super skinny anime eyebrows. But I just, when you're using body paints though, you want to, especially water activated ones, you want to keep in mind that yes, you need water to, you know, use the paints. They're kind of like watercolors. But you also don't want to use too much water, because if you use too much water, not only is the opacity gonna just basically not be there, it's also gonna start dripping everywhere. And if you're gonna spend a lot of time doing something like this, you really don't want your paints to start dripping. It's really annoying to clean up. It's not impossible. Depending on the colors, like, it could be pretty salvageable. It's just a big pain in the butt, so you just want to make sure to use less water than you think you need, and if it's not blending the way you want, add a little bit more. Same thing, like I say when I do makeup tutorials, always start with less than you think you need, and then if you have to add more, it makes your life so much easier. Also, I took a brush that had, I wouldn't say like a sharp tip, like point, but something like a little more edgy, I guess, just so that way when I'm applying, like in this instance, black or white body paint right next to black body paint, the colors don't mesh together. Sometimes, like, if you want a gradient effect, that's cool, but I'm literally drawing anime characters. There's not really a gradient on their eyeballs. So I wanted to kind of keep that, you know, a little more clean. Also, keep in mind that when your eye is relaxed, especially when you're doing an illusion kind of thing like this, your skin is gonna move. So if possible, I would definitely suggest taking pictures like when you're doing the outline, just to make sure that when your eye is closed, everything is where you want it to be. I got pretty lucky with this that it pretty much did. Got a little like lifted in that one spot, but it's all good. And to be honest, I'm kind of proud of this anime eye. I'm very proud of it. And then for the other side, I went ahead and started drawing out the lens first, and then kind of doing the same the same techniques basically, drawing out the outline of what I'm going to put in and then making sure to color it in correctly basically. Now for the actual earpiece, I forgot to keep in mind that yes, hers took up her entire like ear area, but I should have made it more proportional to my head. I, shockingly, am not an anime character. My proportions are, I don't even know if somewhat normal is the correct term, but there you go. So you want to kind of keep that in mind when you're doing something like this. Clearly I did not, and I'm a hypocrite, but I'm trying to make you better than I am. And then to kind of define the sides of my face a little bit more, I went in and just basically outlined the sides of my head. Now for something like a lime green, just lighter colors like this, I tend to add a little bit less water than I would for something like a black body paint. I don't know why, but that seems to work out better for me, just to make it as opaque as possible. I feel like that, like just lighter colors in general, I have to baby a little bit more. Same thing with like eyeshadows, like pastel eyeshadows, you have to like apply a white base or something like that. So if you find that that's the case, that your lighter body paints aren't as opaque as you want them to be, I would just try adding a little bit less water and sometimes even like go over a second pass. Now drawing her second eye was kind of interesting because the picture that I was looking at, you can kind of see parts of her her pupil through like the glass, but not all of it, because it's supposed to be like a green glass, and then the lime green I use is kind of like the glare on it. So it was pretty interesting to try to figure out how to do that. So instead of going in with blue body paint for the colored part of her eye, I just went in with a different shade of green to kind of try to emulate that. And then for the rest, it was just green. Then for the rest of the scouter, like, headpiece, I applied a little bit of gray body paint and then wound up not cleaning my brush off well enough, and it wound up being, instead of white, like a light grayish, but like here you can't really tell. So I don't know why I'm saying anything. Brutal honesty. But yeah, so you want to fill that in. If you want to, this was not necessarily in the picture, which, thinking about it, I probably should have done. If you want to apply a little bit of like a lighter gray eyeshadow to kind of add some shading and make it a little more 3D, totally cool. And then for her lips are a little bit smaller than mine, so I just neutralized the color on my lips with some concealer, applied a lighter pink lipstick, and then just outlined the lip with some black body paint, just because, you know, she's technically a cartoon character, so most things need to be outlined. And then I never actually realized that I could make my neck look longer by, especially when my background is black, to just use black body paint and make my neck look longer. One step closer to becoming those teeny anime chicks. Now, if only that worked in real life, because I have a pretty short neck, but whatever. So if you will be standing by a black background, this could be an option, but if not, I will get back to you guys on that. And then I just applied a little more detailing around the neck, giving me a collarbone and stuff, and that was pretty much it. Honestly, this didn't take super long, but I love how it came out. I'm so proud of myself. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely had fun doing it, and hopefully you learned something. But like I said, I'm going to try to make this a thing for the next few Sundays. So if you guys want to see any particular characters, leave me a comment in the comment section, or like of wherever I post this video. Also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.